Fantastic. I'd like to get everybody out on time today. Of course, you can stay late if you wish. A couple of quick housekeeping notes, just to let you know a few things. After we're done today, everybody has a little questionnaire. If you've been here before, you know how this works. Please fill it out. Be honest. Be brutal if you need to be, but be nice if you can. Let us know how we did and what we can do in the future. Also, there was some confusion last time. There is a 20% gratuity included in your check to take care of these fine individuals who are taking very good care of us today, and for the fact that they have donated the use of this space to this group. And we just want to say thank you very much to them for that. You can tip extra if you wish. Of course, they won't turn you down. And then also, we're going to have a cashier set up today to expedite checking out. I know last time there was a little bit of confusion on that. So you can pay your server at the table, but we'll also have a cashier if you need to leave a little bit faster. They'll be bringing the tickets out as soon as the food has been delivered. So, all right. We're going to go ahead and get started with the panel. Anthony, do you want to start the film? Already on? Okay. We're going to get started with the panel a few minutes early, and as soon as the panel is finished, there are going to be a few announcements. So we got you till 1, but if you do need to leave early, that's fine. So without any further ado, I'd like to have our panel. David Trout is our moderator today, and I'm going to let you each take a minute and introduce yourselves. You have microphones, so we're going to get started here. And today's panel is on Deal Media and the importance of its small business. Thank you.
Go ahead.
He's on? Hi, I'm Bridget Ruckel, and I'm with Asheville Deal, which is part of the Asheville Radio Group, Mix 96.5, and the Mountain River, ESPN.
Carla Myron, I'm with the Asheville Citizen Times social commerce site, which is Deal Chicken. So my cars would be the one with the little yellow chicken on it out on the table.
And I'm Bob Pearlstein with You Get, We Give, and we are devoted to Asheville and the nonprofit community.
All right, well, great. Well, thank you all for coming today. Let's see, a couple of things here. On your tables, there are 2 more pieces of paper. One is the questions that we're going to go over with the panel today. And the panel is going to take about a minute each for each of these questions here. And then Bob put those together as basically the ones that, and with the input of Carla and Bridget as well, the ones that are probably most relevant to everybody here. And then the other page that you have on your table here is a questionnaire or questions for you to fill out if there was something pertinent maybe to your business specifically, something you really would like to hear answered. They can be directed to one of the panelists individually or the whole group. You can fill that out, leave that on your table, or give it to the panelists, and they will be getting back to you. So make sure that you put your contact information on that as well with this. And again, I'm Dave Trout. I do insurance and investments. I've had the good pleasure to know Bob for many, many years, and that's why he ropes me into doing this type of stuff for him. It was Monday. I was coming back from Florida. I get a call on the cell phone. I'm on 95. And he goes, "What are you doing Thursday?" I said, "I'm slammed." And he said, "Well, you're slammed more now." So, you guys ready? Well, let's get started. Bridget, let's start with you. What is Deal Media?
Deal Media, and I guess in my words would be, it's kind of the deal of the day. It's where a merchant has an opportunity through a media outlet, whether it be the website, radio station, newspaper, the local web, would be to, you're able to offer at least a 50% discount or more to the locals in a mass amount, okay, where you can do a quick sell to the public in a short amount of time. So it's more of a marketing ploy than it is so much of a profit-making enterprise. It's where you can get your business out there, exposed to the locals, and have them come in and learn all about you.
Carl?
say the same thing differently. The deal media or the deal marketing gives merchants the opportunity to pay for their marketing and advertising with products, services, goods they already have. So it's different from traditional advertising where you pay, you may or may not get a response. This is performance-based. You get new customers, they come through your doors, they eat your food or try your services, or it's free. So it's a way to partner, usually with a media company, get the marketing, get the exposure, and only pay for the customers that you get.
Deal Media is a $1.5 billion business in 3 years thanks to Groupon and Living Social. You've all heard of Groupon. Many of you have heard of Living Social. These companies have opened up the doors to build a fantastic model for small businesses here in Asheville and literally across the country to literally be able to promote their services and products at no upfront charge. That is huge. No upfront charge. Everything else in advertising costs money up front, and it's good stuff. But here it's on the back end. So Deal Media will be around for a while.
Okay, great. So, Bob, what are the benefits of using Deal Media?
Well, first of all, it's free on the front end, and if you make the right deal, it'll be very profitable for you. The key, and my two colleagues here advise people as I do, how to make the right deal. The benefits of Deal Media is you will acquire new customers if you make the right deal. You will reward customers that will take advantage of your deal as a way of saying thank you. Deal Media opens the door for you to do some things that you just can't afford to do elsewhere.
Paul?
It's almost the same answer in that it's the benefits are you either get customers or it's completely free. And not only is it exposure, usually you'd pay for advertising, people would see your billboard or your ad or hear it. But this way, they are your customers. They come through your door. They're using your product. If you do massage, they're getting a massage. If you're a restaurant, they're eating your food. If they have a good experience, they're coming back. It's far more interactive than if you just pay for an ad and somebody sees it. And again, if they don't come, you don't pay.
Yes, just kind of reiterating. It's also a great benefit because you have a greater chance of some repeat business as well. If it's, if you're really hitting those locals. With me, I'm just here in Asheville, so I'm just selling to the locals. Locals are just buying. So there's a good chance of getting good quality customers. We have a significant amount of growth that comes into Asheville, and all these new people don't know, where to go, and it's usually word of mouth or through some advertising. But with this, again, you're getting some great exposure in a short amount of time, and the people who buy are your new customers. If you treat them right and have a good deal offer, then they'll be back and will be repeat customers for a long time to come.
Yeah. Okay, Bridget, how many deal companies are there in Asheville, and how are they different?
We were just discussing that. There's at least 8, maybe more. I mean, there's some small ones, there's some big ones. I don't know if you want me to kind of list what we think. Of course, there's Groupon, Living Social, Asheville Deal, Deal Chicken, You Get We Give. I think Valpak has a deal going on now. Hey, it's half off. Hey, it's half off. But yeah, there's quite a bit. So there's just a small bit of competition.
There aren't any I really could name that she hadn't already mentioned, but it's a good place to say that with the different deals, and when they're tied to a different media, you can reach a different audience. We have the Citizen Times audience is older, affluent, educated. You're dealing with nonprofits and charities there, and so with different deal sites, you can get different demographics.
My recommendation is if you like Deal Media, if you like what it can do for your business, you can literally ride along using all of us because we represent all a different audience, demographically and lifestyle-wise. So yeah, there may be a little duplication, but if you like Deal Media, each one of my colleagues here have something special to offer to promote your deal. So Deal Media is a great way to go. It'll be around.
And now, Bob,
Yes.
what kind of results should I expect when I use deal media.
Well, David, that's unfair because you're a different type of guy. Deal media.
Let's not talk about that yet.
Okay. You know what? Here's the good and bad and the ugly. The thing is, you have to know what works for your business. If you're a restaurant, for example, and you know your price point is $15 a plate or $10 a plate, the worst thing you can do is to give it away because there's a food cost here. There's a service cost. There's overall cost. Your deal media folks, like us, should be able to help you make the right deal. So at the end of the day, you look at this as a new customer acquisition, a reward, and the opportunity to actually make money, even though it's a one-time deal.
Can you repeat the specific question?
What kind of results should I expect by using deal media?
Thank you. It definitely depends on what kind of business you have, and you certainly can set some parameters. It's a learning curve. This type of marketing is only a few years old, and there's things we're all learning. A more compelling offer is going to get you more deals. One thing with, let's say for a restaurant, there are going to be certain limitations. We're going to let the consumer buy one per person. It's not going to include tax or gratuity. But if you get crazy with your restrictions, if you start saying, well, they can only use it on Monday through Wednesday, or it's not good on the lunch buffet, you know, you start putting in all those restrictions, you're not going to get any people. You have to remember the point is to get them through the door, let them have a good experience so that they'll come back. So you definitely want to work with your rep to what's a reasonable expectation for you. How many people can your business handle? You know, some businesses, 50 is success. Another business, you know, 15 might be. It depends. You know, you're doing all the massages yourself. You don't want to sell 125. So you work with your rep to set your expectations and your parameters.
There's not much more I can add to that. I would also say it really depends too of how long your business has been around, how popular you are, how well known you are, what type of service you do offer. If you're just a one-man band, you know, she was mentioning with massage, or if you have several locations. So again, if you have the right deal offer, if you have the right expectations, and you set the parameters to make it attractive to the consumer and make it worth their while to why they should even come to visit your business, then that really factors in as well.
Great. All right, Bridget, let's go back to you on this one. How flexible can merchants make their deals?
You have to do what we say. No, I'm just kidding. That would be the easy way.
Carla?
Same.
Bob?
Well, again, just like with what Carla said, you know, if you set too many restrictions, then that's really going to play into how effective your deal offer is. I mean, we definitely work with the merchants. I can speak just for myself that I always show the creative before it goes live so that I can make sure I've gotten everything the way that the merchant wants to have their business exposed as far as their description. So they do have some say on the creative and all that before it goes live. So again, it's just really having a good conversation and setting those expectations. Will really determine how flexible we can be.
There are some parameters that you can set, and I think none of the companies that are offering deals themselves are nonprofits, so there's going to be a limit. We're not going to let you, just make it impossible for somebody to buy it and get all the exposure. But what I say to people when I'm working with them is your discount and sharing the income with us is your marketing cost. It should be a reasonable marketing cost. So it should be per person, like that's why we always put the one per person. You wouldn't want one person, unless you were an amusement park and you don't care. If a body is coming through the door, they might buy a soda, but most small businesses, it should be a marketing cost per person.
Flexibility is up to the individual. Personally, I believe that every business has a tolerance of what they can expect. The difference between the three companies sitting here and the two big giants like Living Social and Groupon, they really make their dollars by their massive amounts of deals that can be sold. We're really not that way. It's not that we wouldn't like to sell more deals. It's not good for the merchant to oversell. It also serves as a test. If it works, you'll come back and you'll do it maybe 2 or 3 times a year.
Okay, well, all that sounds wonderful. But now what are the downsides to doing this type of marketing and advertising? Bob?
Oh, Paula, would you like to address that first?
I'm getting complex because I've never been asked to go first yet. So yes, if you don't mind, I'll
That's
go.
why I am.
Well, you know, we were at first saying, kidding around amongst ourselves, that this was the one question we all kind of struggled with, that there aren't downsides, but certainly there could be. If your business isn't prepared, if your staff isn't prepared, if the consumer comes in and has a bad experience, they're not coming back. You've just wasted your time, energy, and money. So making sure everybody is aware this is a marketing thing and you drove this person through your front door, make sure they have a wonderful time. There also is you don't want your business to be overwhelmed. You may not want 600, again, you know, small business kind of thing. So it could be a problem, or the downside would be if you're not ready and the consumer has a bad time, or it's just too much. You know, you might write a check to the Citizen-Times for 700, 800, whatever, normal marketing cost. They're just, most small businesses are not writing a check to the Citizen-Times for $20,000. So, you know, if you sold too many, it wouldn't happen with us, but that could be a potential downside.
She about covered it, you know, again, we discussed this ahead of time. So yeah, just making sure that you as the owner and your staff are prepared to know how to redeem the vouchers, give the customer a great experience so that they'll come back. And again, just kind of knowing if there's a certain limit that you couldn't handle coming through your door.
So here's the downside from my side. An ice cream shop, a very popular ice cream shop in this city, gets 2,200 and some odd vouchers sold within 2 days. Now here's the worst part. During ice cream season, you don't do that. If you're interested in a small business person, you work with them. We talk about flexibility. You've got to bend the rules, and you've got to make it so that it works. We live here in this city. We need to face you every day, hopefully, or when we see you. It's got to work. It's not just about the back end of giving you a big check. It's about building your business.
All righty. Carla, we're going to start with you again. And I apologize. How much control does each merchant have when using Deal Media?
Very similar question to the what are the restrictions, and another place where you have control is what your offer would be. To go back to an example of a restaurant, a lot of restaurants will just do, you know, well, $20 will buy you $40 worth, but you could decide you were going to do a signature dinner for two, and do specific items. If you're a massage therapist, you could do the 60-minute deep tissue, or give them the option of something else. So you can control what it is you're offering the public, because while we can talk about some other stuff in the copy, what you offer is the #1 thing we're about to promote. And then it goes back into restrictions and that kind of stuff.
Bridget?
Again, yeah, just to repeat that. So yeah, you've got control to a certain extent as far as the deal offer. Again, it has to make sense. That all comes with conversation, and also having control on what the description is on your business. So that's where I go back with, you know, letting the merchant see all the creative before it goes live. You know, because we all, you know, might make a typo or put the wrong phone number in or whatever. So I never let anything go live without it being seen by the merchant first. There they have the control as well. And then maybe even controlling, again, with flexibility on the amount. You know, we set a reasonable amount. We don't want to set it at 20 because, you know, that might not be enough to even make it worth it. But definitely, if you wanted to set something up that you don't want to sell more than 100 or, you know, more than 200, so that kind of control can also be discussed as well.
We want you to build your own deal. You go into a pizza place. Some of the smart ones start with a cheese pie. It all starts with a cheese pie, basically. And then you add toppings. You control the pie you create. We want you to create the deal that works for you. As business people, you need to have an insight into what you know about your business and what will work. Especially in restaurants where there are food costs and employees. Some of the really smart restaurateurs in this city know to the penny what their expenses are, hence knowing how to make a deal.
All right. Well, Bridget, let's go back to you on this one. What type of businesses are best to use deal media programs?
This is always a big challenge too, because you know, with us, we have to have a deal about every day. So we want to be able to offer something, and you can't always get the most popular, which would be restaurants, spas, tickets to concerts, retail stores, services like massages or facials or waxing. So those tend to be the most popular. It's like, you know, if you could buy a coupon to something that you wouldn't normally indulge in, that's kind of what we like to offer. But every once in a while you'll get something that will be off the wall, you know, animal communicator. I did that deal one time, sold a few. So I would say, you know, the ones that were the mass media is more likely to purchase. If it's a real niche, then you're not going to sell as many.
The way that translates out, the number one reason I think that the number one offer is restaurants and it's the most successful is buying cycle. People eat every day, a couple of times a day. And spas and salons, you know, often that's monthly or every few weeks. Same thing with massage. Most people don't, but they should. So it's something you should be bringing them up to. So buying cycle has a big impact on how well something will do. The more often someone does it, I've done well with some cleaning services, because again, that's something that should be bi-weekly or monthly or something. But that being said, also niche things. Like we've done really well with knitting supplies. I don't knit. There are a ton of knitters in Asheville. This also is a very dog-friendly community. We've run for the thrift store, for Brother Wolf, the animal shelter, and that's done well because we're so dog-friendly here. So buying cycle, if you're something that somebody uses all the time, you know, even like oil change, of course it's 25,000 mile oil change, not really a big buying cycle, but that, and does it appeal to a group of people? That would make it also successful.
As Carla said and Bridget said, everybody eats every day, so restaurants are number one, bar none. But things like tires, electronics, things of that nature sell well when you need it. It's like what advertising does. You use it when you are in the market for a washer dryer and stuff. I like doing some oddball things, like I know we have coming up brain scanning, which generally sells for like $299. I'm going to sell it for $250. I'm going to sell it for $99. But it's fun. Will we sell 100? Probably not. But if we sell 40 or 30, or the massage therapist who wants 15 new customers, that's what we want to do. That's pinpoint marketing.
All righty. Well, Bob, considering you do oddball deals,
I do.
how do good deals go bad? Do they, you know, not be refrigerated for very long, or
No,
mold on them? Or?
We're not talking about salons. Good deals go bad because, you know, basically people take advantage of them. Remember, when you get a voucher and you print it up, it's your voucher with a number and a name. And the merchant, if they operate their business correctly, can either print out the results of who purchased the voucher, or can scan it with a QR code on the voucher. The point is that there are people, human nature, that take advantage. And they'll make copies, they'll print a second one. And, you know, it's like we're putting out little signs now. Busted. It's like you can catch these people. But people are basically honest. So good deals go bad when people abuse them. And lastly, good deals go bad when the merchant really doesn't know their business. I'm amazed how many business people in this city don't understand their own business, especially marketing.
Carl?
That's one way. Another is a disconnect between the restaurant owner and his staff and the consumers coming in. And this went back to something we covered a couple of questions ago, but I had a restaurant, and again, too many restrictions is not good, because you want that person to have a great experience and come back. But what they had was, you know, one of these vouchers per table. Meaning if my husband and I are using one, you and your husband can't use one. But they had done a split voucher. There was a 20 for 40 and they got 2 20s. Well, the cashier didn't want to take both of the 2 20s. She was supposed to. That was not what the restriction was. That consumer had a bad experience, and we had to help the owner of the restaurant coach his staff to make sure all these people were having a good time, because they leave upset. You wasted your time, energy, and money.
Now, I'm trying to think back to the same type of example. Yeah, when the owner of the business doesn't talk with the staff or set the expectations correctly, that can definitely go bad for the deal. But also, if a merchant only allows a certain amount of vouchers to be used in a single night or a single day, I've had that happen as well, where he set up in his own mind that he was only going to accept 10 that day. And so when the 11th one came in, he said, well, we're not taking any more deal vouchers. And so, of course, I got phone calls and emails, and I had to sit the merchant down and say, well, why did you do that? You're just turning, you're just turning this into a bad deal, a bad experience instead of a good one. So we quickly changed that policy, and I had to let those people know that they could definitely come back and try to salvage that business experience. So again, it's just setting up those right expectations and not setting up restrictions after the fact, because it can definitely be a bad situation for your business.
Ricky, don't pass that.
Carla?
I went already.
On this question?
Yes, I did. I talked about the disconnect between the restaurateur and his cashier, and now I'm going to take it.
You said it's 2 for 20s in the
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. All right. Losing control. Then Carla, we'll go back to you.
Okay.
How often and when should businesses use deal media?
Like any other advertising, you would look at how much business do you want to bring in? Thank you.
How much business do you want to bring in? How much business can you bring in? We can run the same business 3 or 4 times a year. Some businesses are going to want to be on a schedule where they run every 3 months because they know they're going to get a new 30 or 40 customers. Others, they may get 60 and that's it. So it's really going to be up to the business and what type of business you are, how many customers can you handle.
I agree to that to a certain extent. I always kind of have a fast rule of more than once a quarter for any kind of a given business. I feel like if you run it, I've had some business owners that wanted to run it once a month or twice a month, and I have to really caution them that the excitement of the deal really goes away. I mean, what's the you're going to have people that are just going to be waiting for that next deal for the next time that they come into your business. So you don't want it to be too often. And again, you just have to kind of watch, that you don't have people just buying your deals, and that's the only time that they visit you.
You have to be creative. August 12th, there's the big Asheville Showdown Pizza War at the garage at Biltmore, I guess. And we were fortunate on this one to be awarded as the company to sell a certain amount of pre-registration early bird tickets. So the reason I'm telling you this is because the pizza places that I ran previously, I've now run again for 3 days leading up to the pizza contest so that people can get a flavor, a taste, a trial, and decide for themselves before they fork out $30 to go and drink all the beer and pizza you can eat. Sounds good, doesn't it?
Is there still tickets left?
Yeah, there are. You have to, but not with me.
Let's
It's sold out. Sold out. But things like that. Also, I'll give you one last example. You can go to a restaurant like Corner Kitchen, which is a destination restaurant. He doesn't really need to do deals, but he does from time to time. The key to doing it, not to blow it with the excitement for the audience, is to offer different things. Brunch on one thing, lunch on one thing, dinner on one thing. You just change it up. But when you have a hot ticket like a Corner Kitchen or a good restaurant, wow, or Vincenzo's, something like that, people will always buy that because people always eat.
All righty. Well, we've got some time left here, and can we do some audience stuff at this point?
It can take about 10-12 minutes.
Okay.
Okay. And first off, I have a question, because with us, as a consumer of deals, And also, as I was saying here, we've been an advertiser and a loyal participant of the W Insider for years and years and years. Can you speak to, from a business owner's perspective, how to work with or plan for or manage basically what I would call the deal addict, okay? They are only going to show up on your place when there's a discount, okay, with that, and they're never going to do it again. And from an operational point of view, because that's what we're doing advertising for as merchants, okay? We want these people to come back and pay full price with that. How are some strategies, or how would your companies work with, some of the folks here in a general way to basically put those operational procedures in place or suggestions on how to basically make that one-time deal customer a steady customer that's going to come back again and again?
Want me to take that first?
Well,
Go ahead.
And Bridget, you were addressing this in your last answer a little bit.
Well, that was a discussion, that I do have with my merchants. And we kind of came up with some options where, okay, you're brand new, this is your first time that you've been to this business, and you came because you had a deal voucher. So how can we, entice them to come back? Some of my merchants offered that any of my deal vouchers or deal customers that would come in, that they would get 20% off on their next visit, and kind of wean them into the full price. So, you brought them in, it was almost kind of a give me, but then you're going to give them a coupon for 20% off on their next visit. So they come back, and so we want them to come back and make it a habit. So, but you don't want them to get hooked on deal vouchers. So, just offer an in-store incentive. And again, of course, the most important thing is giving them an awesome experience where they say, yeah, this is a new restaurant that we've never tried, and now it's our new favorite. So we'll definitely be back once a week or a couple times a month. Same with any kind of service that you offer.
I'd have to agree with that. In addition, though, I would say this: there are some people who are going to be coupon clippers, and they are going to come in with a voucher and not spend a penny more. But that's a smaller percentage than the ones that will come back and become regular customers. And that bad coupon penny pincher, there's not a lot you can do about them. I mean, certainly you can incentivize them to make it a habit. I've worked with salons where they get your email address when you call and you say you have the voucher, so they can confirm your appointment and let you know at that point, it's going to be an additional 10% off any product. Do 4 more manicure pedicures, the 5th one is free. But ultimately, that 1 or 2 people in 10, they may never come back, but I think that's worth getting the other 8 who do become your customers.
It's interesting. This is where the deal stops and the marketing begins. It's really important to teach our business folks who take advantage of deal media how to market. What do you do after? What kind of results did you get? I'm amazed how people don't even know. They just know they've received X amount of vouchers. They don't know how much they lost or gained. So there's a method in the way we set things up. We need to teach our folks how to evaluate the campaign. But the trick is marketing. And that is, as both of you said, how do you get them to be a full paying customer? You hook them by making sure your service and your food is so phenomenal they're going to come back. And let me tell you, the 18-year-old kid or the 22-year-old kid or the college student is not a likely candidate. It's not a bad one. Groupon made a business out of that 18 to 25. And by the way, a lot of kids don't come back. They just look for the coupon clipping. So it's choosing your audience the wise way. Last thing, I like what Sherry does with the WNC Insider. This is not a plug, but it's factual. Her book really gives the true incentive. 50% off the first time you come, and then it's 10%, or at least it was. That's the way it works. Every merchant in the world is going to love that deal. It's an introduction, and then it's called continuity.
All right. Yes, sir.
My question is, how do you manage the results of the deal? For example, you said that you could prevent the overwhelming of the business? If I were to do a deal and I got more than 4 or 5 oil changes a day, I don't have enough stock to keep up with that. So,
Yeah, that's easy. You want to take that? Go ahead.
Subject to scheduling availability. Salons, massage, they can't just show up and expect you to do it right then. That's definitely one of the restrictions we put on the vouchers.
You know, it's exactly the way.
All right, yes, ma'am.
Being an in-home business, not having a storefront, how would you work that into using your services?
You have desserts and such, right?
Yeah.
We ran a cheesecake company, similar, and now she's with Blue Ridge Foods. She included free delivery in the Asheville area.
Okay. And how does your customer pay, how much, or do you have a sliding?
The way we've featured one particular cake, and we've done a couple where you can do 1 or 2 options. So the price is set, they buy it from us, we give you back half the money.
Oh, okay.
You know, one of the famous cake places here that sells excellent cakes ran several deals and lost her shirt. Not because she didn't get vouchers, but we sat down and we discussed how much it cost to make that cake and her marketing and her boxes and all that stuff. She was losing $7 a cake. She was getting a lot of vouchers, but losing $7 a cake. We stopped that by offering substantially less on the deal. Look, the quality of the dessert or the cakes or the service has to carry it. I look at vouchers as funny money. I look at it as motivational ways, not couponing, but motivations to come in and try.
Yes, sir.
just one last question for me. You said you give 50% off. Can that be 50% off labor instead of off of product? I mean, because the hard cost of the product, depending, like if you only have a 30% profit margin, you take half of that, it's pretty much all your profit.
Well, but you're building, what you're doing is, a lot of people use this as a loss leader. You're building a new customer. And after that, they can't use our deal if there's not a deal that they come in with. So you're taking the chance of saying, you know what, I'm not putting out any advanced dollars that I would have to do in a magazine, right? And newspapers and TV and stuff. And I'm banking on the fact that I'm going to treat them well and they will come back. After that, it's all 100% your money.
Some folks in the back.
Just wanted to know if you have examples of instances where tradespeople, construction-related services, and service people have used this sort of deals to get new business. Does that happen?
You mean where it's all labor?
Yeah, pretty well.
I had a car wash deal.
You mean handyman type of stuff?
Electricians, plumbers, construction-related services.
Yeah, well, I haven't done any, I had a landscaper, and then I also had a car, like a mobile car detailing service where it was just him and his vehicle. And again, you know, he handled it very well. They both did, because it was based on availability. You know, the consumers don't know your schedule. So when you say, well, I have availability here, you know, here, and here, because you know you're busy, then they'll accept that. They have they have up to a year to use the voucher, so they'll go with your schedule. But you know, again, because we're local, we don't sell the volume that some of the bigger deal companies do. So they were very satisfied with the amount that was sold. They could handle it very well, and I've already gotten feedback. They've turned some of those into repeat customers already.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I do have a short question. As it relates to social media, I know that a lot of what you guys do is related to that. How does that tie into how you promote and bring in people?
Well, I mean, with me, I'm with the actual radio group, so it's not just an email blast that goes out to the people who opted in, but we also do some radio commercials for free to advertise the deal. And then we all have a Facebook page. So we post that deal for that day on our Facebook page and also on Twitter.
I was going to say, the the Citizen Times also, in addition to the website and the newspaper, the paper itself has a Facebook page and a Twitter account, and we post it there. What's really interesting to me is when we have crafted a deal well, so that it's compelling to the consumer, when they buy it, they post it on their Facebook pages. That's a fun day.
Okay.
Let me just finish your question. Every one of us have a different way of doing it. Here you have radio, powerful. Here you have newspaper. Will always be, I don't believe newspapers will ever go away. So we have newspapers. And with You Get We Give, we go through the non-profits. That's proprietary databases that nobody has their hands on. Donors, volunteers, employees, staff. That's an incredible list of people who will promote the deal through emails and newsletters.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Talk to me about expiration dates. I want to know the pros and cons behind your selling that to me as a storekeeper, but as a customer, I'm pissed because I've probably got 20 expired Groupons and Living Socials. And
You didn't mention any of ours, but that's
Yeah.
okay. All right, no, that's okay.
I've used all of yours. But talk to me about the reasons behind that and how to get around it. And it's kind of made me a disappointed consumer. I'll probably never go there.
All right, let me take the first one on this, and then we'll have both of the ladies do it. There's two things. One, it's your responsibility to obviously know what you bought. Two, it is important. My wife, who is so much more organized than I am, has made me a little loose leaf book. Yes, David, I know you know that. So I have a loose leaf book that gives that's separated by the months of expiration. It's very interesting. I keep it in my car because I buy a lot of deals. It makes sense. Other people's deals, their deals, coupons, whatever. And third, if you miss the expiration, that's still money. You're holding money. If you pay $20 for a $40 voucher, that $40 does not have to be honored after the voucher date has expired, but that $20 does. For 5 years? How long? For
5 years.
5 years. So that's the answer. You're holding money. And I'm sorry.
Don't throw them away.
Yeah, don't throw them away.
Can't you also have no expiration date?
Yes, and that works well. My mom does that.
Yeah.
I mean, you create your own deal, so.
You can, but a lot of times the merchant will want them
Yeah,
to come through the doors.
Right.
And we don't run an expiration date lower than 3 months. I always suggest 6 months to give them opportunity. We run a company that closes October 31st. If it doesn't run till later this month, it's over, October 31st. So it really is about the merchant. If they're very, very busy, they may do a year because they'd rather have it spread out. But if you're brand spanking new, you want them all to come in 3 months.
Create that immediately. I'm just curious about, if a deal sells and is not redeemed, does the merchant still get the money for that?
Yes, you get paid based on
I
who buys
wasn't
it.
sure if they were-
Some of them are going to wind up in kitchen drawers and never get turned in.
You know, what's interesting about that is on a 12-month voucher, an expiration for 12 months, if you don't use it, there's probably about minimally 20% of the people where the merchant's been paid. So it's great for them. They
So the
didn't lay out.
merchant still gets that.
Absolutely, merchant gets it. You got it.
And then if I go in, I still have that,
Well, you paid.
what I paid.
Yeah, exactly. So you've got it both ways.
Liam?
Yeah, Liam's got a question.
Good. All right, any more questions? Yes? Well,
Where do I
this-
sign? Just kidding.
Let's see, they're right here, and they will, and they have contracts in their pocket, I guarantee you.
Well, David, let me say one thing. You do have a piece of paper. Write down some questions that pertain to your business specially, and the three of us will share it, and we'll give you 3 different answers, and hopefully it'll make sense. It's all about pushing, we're all about pushing deal media. It would be great if you use all of us at different times, because we all represent different audiences, basically. So, thanks for your attendance.
Thank you.
All right, good.
Just want to say thank you to all 4 of you for doing this today. We really do appreciate it, taking some time out of your schedule. How did everybody like the panel discussion today?
Excellent.
Great.
Fantastic. So just a few quick things before we wrap up. Number 1, please stay after, mingle, network, make appointments, go do something, make an appointment. Let's do business with each other. That's what this is all about. Please don't forget to fill out your forms for the panel and also for the event today. We'd really appreciate that. You can leave them, all of these forms, if you'll just leave them in the basket, right by the door, underneath the Jonas Gerard painting, the short table on the left. We'd appreciate it if you'd leave it there for us so we can get it. Next meeting is going to be 11:30, Thursday, September 6th, right here, same place. And our topic is going to be improving your online presence. It's a panel discussion on the importance of websites and social media to your business. So this is one that I think is going to be very valid for all of you because you're all small business except for Martha with Martha. And we're glad you're here.
You just got to plug, say thank you.
You just got to plug.
Thank you.
We're all small business except for Martha with Martha. Martha's just awesome. She's already done her time, and
She's promoting other businesses.
that's awesome. Anyways,
Lunch was great.
glad you. I'm so glad all of you came. Thank you so much. We really appreciate your participation in this series. Just a quick announcement that I would like to make.
He doesn't want to hear it.
He's too cute. We're not gonna do a bunch of announcements. I'm going to break right now so we can all mix and mingle. But I just want to announce that Debbie, raise your hand, Debbie. Debbie's our event organizer for our November Expo, and it's about 3 months away. And we'd like to encourage all of you to strongly consider representing your business at the 2012 Fall Asheville Local Business Expo at the Crown. She has forms if you're interested. I'm going to do a special today. If you do sign up for the expo today, that means sign up today with Debbie. You can get your check to us in the mail, that's fine. This is a great event, guys. It's a quarter of the cost of a home show. At least 1,000 people in attendance last time. But Debbie, we'll take $25 off anybody that signs up today. We'd love to have. If you have questions about the expo, please see Debbie. So, any of the panelists want to add anything else that you'd like to mention?
I just really appreciate everybody coming, and I think you walk away with at least understanding what this silly thing called deal media.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
All right, let's give them a round. Hope you all had a good time today. Please mix and mingle. Let's do business with each other, and we'll see you all next month. Thank you very much.